All right, so today we're diving into Scorpio and Pisces compatibility.
Oh, yeah.
And we're focusing on intimacy, trust, and communication in this deep dive.
I like it.
And it's funny because when I think about this pairing, I kind of think about if relationships were bodies of water,
Okay.
this would be less like a babbling brook
Huh.
and way more like venturing into the ocean depths.
I love that.
We've got some really interesting sources for this one.
Right.
So let's see what we can uncover.
Yeah, what's so captivating about this pairing is that, they're both water signs.
Right.
But they experience and express their emotions so differently.
Totally.
And it makes their dynamic super intense, but also really intricate.
It's like they're speaking the same language,
Yes.
but with totally different accents and slang.
100%.
And, speaking of intensity, our sources, they really focus on emotional depth for both Scorpio and Pisces,
Right.
especially when it comes to intimacy.
Absolutely. And the source even uses this phrase, a dance of souls,
Oh, wow.
to describe their connection in the bedroom. For both signs, intimacy is about way more than just the physical.
Yeah.
It's about a deep emotional connection.
It's interesting, though, because
Yes.
one source pointed out that Scorpio is traditionally associated with a strong libido,
Okay.
but then also a tendency towards repression.
Right.
How does that play out with Pisces?
Yeah.
Because they're often seen as the more sensitive, dreamy sign.
That's what's so intriguing. The source describes Pisces as embracing something like what they call sexual weirdness.
Really?
Yeah. Basically, they're open to exploring
Huh.
unconventional desires
Wow.
and pushing boundaries in a way that might surprise other signs.
Okay, so not exactly a vanilla pairing then.
Not at all.
I imagine that this could either lead to some incredible fireworks
Yes.
or some serious clashes.
Precisely. It's a very delicate dance.
Oh, yeah.
The source specifically points out that Scorpio really needs to be mindful
Okay.
of Pisces' need for emotional satisfaction
Okay.
in the bedroom.
Makes sense.
Scorpio's intensity, it can be incredibly passionate,
Yeah.
but it can't overshadow Pisces' need for tenderness and emotional connection.
Right. It's like you can have all the fireworks in the world,
Right.
but without that genuine emotional spark, it's just
Yeah.
noise and smoke.
Exactly.
And speaking of tricky dynamics,
Okay.
what about trust between a Scorpio, who is known for their suspicious nature, and a Pisces, who is known for their idealism?
Yeah.
It sounds like a recipe for heartbreak.
It's definitely a point of tension.
Yeah.
One source even mentions how Scorpio's distrust might manifest as clinginess
Oh, wow.
with Pisces,
Interesting.
which could feel stifling over time.
That makes sense
Yeah.
because they're both searching for that perfect love,
Right.
but their definitions might be on totally different pages.
Exactly. And the source highlights how crucial it is for this pairing
Okay.
to establish a shared understanding of what they each consider perfect love to be.
I like that.
Otherwise, they just project their own ideals onto each other,
Right.
which can lead to disappointment and resentment.
Yeah, it sounds like building a strong foundation of trust
Mm-hmm.
is absolutely essential
Right.
for this pairing
It
to
is for-
thrive.
Yeah.
But what happens if that trust is broken?
This is where things get really delicate.
Oh, no.
The source is very clear
Okay.
that betrayal is a major deal breaker
Wow.
for both Scorpio and Pisces.
Interesting.
Both signs crave a deep, lasting bond.
Right.
But Pisces might initially approach the relationship with rose-tinted glasses,
Right.
while Scorpio might have a harder time
Yeah.
letting go of past hurts.
So Pisces might be inclined to forgive and forget, but Scorpio might hold on to that pain much longer.
Exactly. And as the relationship progresses, Pisces' idealistic view might clash with Scorpio's more pragmatic instincts,
Right.
and potentially more possessive instincts.
Okay.
Maintaining that trust requires constant effort and open communication,
Sure.
especially given Scorpio's naturally suspicious nature.
Yeah, that's a good point. So trust is one hurdle, but then there's this whole other thing
Right.
about communication.
Yeah.
How can Scorpio, with all their intensity,
Tough.
and Pisces with their sensitivity,
Mhm.
ever really understand each other?
Yeah.
It seems like one wrong word,
Oh, totally.
and the whole thing could go up in flames.
The source does not shy away from the pitfalls.
Really?
They actually describe communication between these two
Oh.
as a potential minefield.
Wow.
Scorpio's direct communication style,
Yeah.
which is honest,
Sure.
it's well-intentioned,
Right.
can easily end up hurting sensitive Pisces,
Yeah.
leading to misunderstandings and withdrawal.
It sounds less like a screaming match and
Sure.
more like this slow painful drift into silence.
Exactly. Imagine like a dense fog rolling in, slowly obscuring everything.
Wow.
And creating a breeding ground for resentment.
Not exactly a fairy tale.
Right.
Is there any hope for them to find their communication groove?
There is some hope.
Okay.
The source offers a more optimistic take,
Okay.
suggesting that if Scorpio can approach the relationship with tenderness,
Okay.
and Pisces establishes some boundaries, their communication can actually be magical.
Tell me more about this magical communication.
Okay.
What does that look like for a Scorpio and Pisces?
So both signs are incredibly intuitive and drawn to the mystical, which creates a strong foundation for understanding.
Okay.
The source even describes them as being connected to different types of magic.
Oh, we love that. It's like they're tapping into this secret language that only they can speak.
100%. And Scorpio, with their laser focus and ability to kind of see beneath the surface, can really help Pisces to cut through confusion and get to the heart of things.
Interesting.
And Pisces, with their deep empathy and compassion, can actually help Scorpio express their emotions more safely.
Okay, that makes sense.
So they balance each other out, each bringing their own magic to the table.
Yes. The source even points out that even when they're talking about mundane everyday things, their shared emotional depth allows them to connect on a level that most couples can only dream of.
Exactly. They find meaning in the nuances that other couples miss.
So they find that magic in both the extraordinary and the ordinary as long as they're willing to put in the work.
Exactly. Which leads us to the big question.
Okay.
Will they hold on to this fascination and put in the effort to navigate these challenges? Or will they give in to their weaknesses and let misunderstandings take over?
It's a classic case of will they or won't they?
It is.
And speaking of these intense emotions, we have to talk about how Scorpio handles all those feelings.
Yes.
The source really emphasizes how powerful and overwhelming those emotions can be.
For sure.
Can Pisces, with their more dreamy, sensitive nature, handle that kind of raw energy without being completely consumed?
It's an important question.
Yeah.
The source uses this really great metaphor to describe this dynamic.
Okay, what is it?
They liken Scorpio to a raging river.
Oh, wow.
Full of all this churning energy and unpredictable currents.
Interesting.
In Pisces, they're the vast, deep ocean.
I love that. So you're saying that the vastness of Pisces' emotional depth can actually absorb and diffuse the intensity of Scorpio's emotional storms.
Pisces has this incredible capacity for empathy and understanding that allows them to navigate and soothe Scorpio's tempestuous inner world.
It's interesting.
But the source does say there's a fine line between diffusing and diminishing.
Right.
Scorpio needs to feel seen and understood, not dismissed or minimized.
That makes sense because Scorpio wants to feel like their intensity is valid and appreciated.
100%.
Not just something to be fixed or smoothed over. It's a delicate dance. But even with all that good communication and emotional understanding, are these two even compatible in, like, everyday life?
That's where we see how their energies complement each other.
Okay.
The source actually says that when Scorpio and Pisces are in sync, they're basically inseparable.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they share all kinds of interests and passions.
So it's not all just like emotional depths and
no, not at all.
intense conversations?
They get out there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, one day they might be totally lost in an art museum, soaking up the art. And then the next day, you find them hiking up a mountain.
Wow, I love that.
Right. The source really emphasizes how they both crave those experiences that ignite their senses and make them feel more connected.
I like that a lot because it's like their shared water element allows them to flow from one thing to the next.
Exactly.
Are there any pitfalls, though?
There's one challenge the source brings up.
Okay.
Balance.
Makes sense.
Scorpio likes to go deep and stay there.
Right.
But Pisces needs variety.
Yeah.
They need some lightness.
Right. Like even ocean dwellers need to come up for air sometimes.
That's a great way to put it. It's like they're exploring shipwrecks.
Right.
Without ever seeing the sunshine.
And we can't forget about Scorpio's tendency to brood.
Oh, yeah, right?
We can't have Pisces' optimism turning all gloomy.
Exactly. That's another important point from the source.
Okay.
Scorpio's pessimistic side can dampen Pisces' joy.
Right.
It's all about balance again.
Okay.
Scorpio needs a healthy outlet.
Makes sense.
Maybe physical activity or something creative. And Pisces needs space for their own interests.
So it's this constant dance, navigating each other's energy and honoring their needs.
Learning to compromise.
Yeah.
But the payoff is huge.
Okay.
When Scorpio and Pisces find that sweet spot, their experiences become even more meaningful.
It's almost like they're two puzzle pieces that are totally different, but they fit together to make a beautiful picture.
And that's what's so great about this deep dive.
Yeah.
We've explored the highs and lows of Scorpio and Pisces, the good and the bad.
Right.
But we have to remember, these are all just tendencies.
Right, of course.
People are way more complex than just their sun signs.
100%. So this duck dive is really just a jumping off point for people to explore further.
Exactly. Like, what does your Scorpio placement bring to the table?
Right. Or what about your partner's Pisces moon?
It's about understanding those nuances.
Yes.
That's what unlocks this whole other level of appreciation for this pairing.
It's been so fascinating diving into this with you.
It really has.
Scorpio and Pisces, what a complex and intriguing pairing.
Absolutely.